The ceiling fan turns in slow measured circles above my head, pushing the heavy summer air from one corner of the room to another without ever really cooling anything down. I lie on the floor with my back against the worn rug, palms open, listening to the low drone of distant traffic blending with a neighbor's radio that keeps slipping in and out of tune. Sweat traces deliberate paths along my temples, yet I do not feel restless, only strangely aware of every inch of space my body occupies. I think about the years that brought me here, the mistakes that still sparkle embarrassingly in memory, the victories that arrived quieter than expected, like envelopes slid under the door. All of it, the joy and the shame, circles through my mind the way that fan circles through the heat, stirring without erasing. There was a time I believed I had to reinvent myself in a burst of sudden brightness, to set everything I disliked on fire and walk away without looking back. Change often happens slower in conversations with myself no one else can hear, in choices so small they barely register at first. I breathe in, feel my ribs expand against invisible pressure, then breathe out, letting the air leave on its own terms. That simple rhythm, there is a comfort I never expected, a tiny revolving warmth at the center of my chest that persists regardless of circumstance. The world outside can spin faster, louder, but inside this room time moves in lazy loops, giving me permission to be unfinished and still worthy of heat. The fan keeps circling, the night keeps leaning against the window, and I stay here quietly radiant, learning to trust the temperature of my own steady heart. The room is barely lit, a single street lamp breathing through the blinds, and I sit here counting the soft reflections that move across your empty chair. Somewhere in the distance, the city murmurs, restless and metallic. But in this corner, everything folds into a slower, deeper shade of blue. I sip lukewarm coffee and feel its last trace of warmth echo against the back of my throat. Quiet proof that something gentle can linger longer than it should. On the windowsill, dust glows like patient galaxies, turning and turning above the radiator's faint exhale. And I listen for the tiny pulse beneath that tired mechanical breath. There is a stubborn glow in the way the dark refuses to fully close its hands around us. Like a thought you never said aloud, still hovering close to my shoulder. I remember the way your laugh curved through this narrow space, how it left bright trails on these walls, faint fingerprints of summer nights we never named. Now, even without you, a low memory, a modest little circle of heat I can almost see when I close my eyes. It lives in the hollow of my palms, in the small ritual of switching off every light except one, in the heartbeat that will not agree to quiet down. Outside, a siren sighs and fades, tires ripple through shallow puddles, and I sit inside this harbor of almost darkness, learning how to trust what glows without burning, how to breathe with a flame that never asks to rise higher, only to stay.
Outside, winter leans against the glass with both hands, pressing its cold breath into every corner of the street. But in here the air moves slower, heavier like a tune, half remembered from a distant hallway. I trace circles on the wooden bar with the bottom of my glass, watching the watered down whiskey drift like amber clouds breaking apart in slow motion. The bartender wipes down the counter with a rhythm that never quite matches the music, yet somehow fits the tired swing of the room. In the far corner, an old lamp hums softly, its shade stained with years of smoke and stories, casting a pool of patient light over an empty stool. I focus on that small territory of brightness, a modest island of comfort in a sea of low murmurs and rattling cutlery, and I feel something inside my chest mirror its persistence. almost gave up on myself, when my dreams felt like burned paper and my voice hid beneath layers of doubt. Nobody else could see, still here I am, shoulders rounded but breathing, keeping time with the slow brush of the snare, the lazy climb of the bass, the sleepy piano chords that fall like feathers. Every heartbeat is a quiet refusal, every exhale a gentle vote in favor of staying. I do not need fireworks or headlines, only this small, steady awareness that I am still here, that the cold has not claimed everything. The door opens, wind rushes in, napkins flutter, but the lamp does not flicker, and neither do I. I hold on to that sameness, that resilience in miniature, and I let it teach me how to be softly bright without ever having to dazzle anyone at all.
On the crowded bus, fluorescent lights hum overhead, washing every face in the same tired gray, while rain tattoos a restless rhythm against the fogged up windows. People scroll, yawn, adjust their bag, rehearsing invisible battles behind blank expressions. And the air smells like damp wool and yesterday's cologne. I stand wedged between strangers, headphones around my neck, listening not to music but to the late orchestra of breathing, sniffles, whisper complaints. Then I notice it, a tiny orange glow near the back door, the tip of a cigarette pressed against the world from the other side of the glass wall, flaring briefly whenever someone takes a drag outside. The driver frowns at the delay, someone mutters about the weather, but my attention stays fixed on that modest dot of color, defiantly bright against the dull parking lot. It reminds me of all the small hopes people carry in secret, letters never sent, projects saved on cluttered desktops, feelings folded into polite conversations, waiting for a safer sky. Maybe each of us is walking around with our own hidden fire, careful not to burn, terrified of going out, unsure how much light we are allowed to let slip through the cracks. The bus sighs back into motion, that little glow shrinking in the rear view mirror until it disappears completely. And still I feel its echo warming the corners of my thoughts. I look at the passengers around me and imagine tiny sparks tucked inside their chests, some dim, some bright, all trying. When my stop arrives, I step into the drizzle with my collar turned up, and for the first time in a while, the gray feels less absolute, shot through with quiet possibilities only patience can reveal. past the house we used to share. Its windows now filled with unfamiliar silhouette, and a new color of curtains I would never have chosen. On the sidewalk, fallen leaves gather in messy constellations. Some crushed, some still holding onto a hint of green beneath their brittle skins. My breath curls white in the chilly air, rising and fading before I can finish tracing its shape with my eyes. Grief, I have learned, is not always a screaming siren. Sometimes it is a low hum beneath everyday footsteps, a background frequency you forget until a certain angle of light brings it roaring back. Tonight that frequency is loud, but not as sharp as it once was. More like smoke that has learned how to drift without choking. I remember the nights we stayed up too late, rearranging furniture, laughing at nothing, turning ordinary rooms into temporary universes, strung together by mismatched lamps and secondhand music. Those worlds are gone, but their echo hangs in the air like a song you can no longer name, yet somehow still hum. I pause by the gate, fingers resting on the cold metal, and I wait for the familiar stab of loss to slice through my chest. Instead, what arrives is softer, an ache threaded with gratitude, the understanding that what we built did not vanish, it simply completed its shape. Somewhere inside me, a small, steady warmth acknowledges that I survived the worst nights, the ones where the bed felt like an ocean and every memory was a wave. Now even as I turn away from the glowing windows, I carry a quieter light, one that does not demand attention but refuses to leave. It is not the fire we once shared, but it is mine, and it is enough.
The cafe is almost empty, chairs flipped upside down on most of the tables. Broom leaning against the wall, like a tired sentinel waiting for final orders. A single lamp over the back booth still burns with a soft amber halo, casting rounded shadows over sugar packets and a lipstick marked glass. Nobody claimed you sit opposite me, coat all The barista wipes the espresso machine in slow circles, pretending not to listen, giving us privacy we did not ask for, but desperately need. Our conversation drifts in and out of safe topics, whether work, childhood stories we have both heard before, anything that will keep us from staring too directly at the crossroads between us. Still, beneath every word I can feel a lingering tenderness, the kind that does not disappear just because two futures decided to part ways. Your laugh arrives late but sincere, and for a moment the room feels the way it used to, full of easy brightness and inside jokes that made strangers curious. The lamp above us flickers once, then steadies, as if reminded of its responsibility to this small corner of the world. I wrap my hands around my cup, though the tea went cold a while ago, and I hold on to the ghost of its warmth as long as I can. When closing time finally arrives, the barista approaches with an apologetic smile, and we both nod understanding. You stand, scarf slipping from your shoulders, and instinctively I reach out to lift it back into place, fingers brushing the familiar softness of the fabric. In that simple touch lies everything we were, and something even quieter, the promise that what was kind between us will not vanish, only move gently into memory's last warm corner. Morning arrives without drama, slipping through the curtains in pale stripes, landing on the chipped mug by the sink and the stack of unopened mail on the table. The kettle hums its way toward a gentle boil, not rushing, not screaming, just building a quiet case for warmth in the middle of an overused kitchen. I move slowly between counter and cupboard, body still heavy with the dust of restless dreams, mind half convinced I am not ready for another day of almost and unfinished conversations. Yet as I pour water over the waiting grounds, the smell of coffee rises like a soft argument against surrender, filling the room with something rich and steady. I wrap my hands around the mug, let the heat seep into my fingers, up my wrist, along the tired highways of my veins, and I feel the first small shift from numb to present. cough themselves awake. Distant doors slam, a dog insists on being heard, but inside everything stays muted, as if the world agreed to give me a few extra minutes at the edge of silence, in that narrow space between distraction and obligation. I can hear a faint, hopeful rhythm tapping along my ribs, asking for just enough courage to take another step. It is not a blaze, not a revelation, only a modest stirring, like coals rearranging themselves deeper in the grate. Still, it is enough to make me believe that today does not have to be a repetition of every tired page. I take a slow sip, taste both bitterness and sweetness, and I let that mixture be my promise to myself. To walk gently, to stay warm where I can, to trust the small, continuous heat that refuses to die out, even on an ordinary Tuesday.
The studio clock blinks a stubborn red in the corner. The only bright thing in a room full of sleeping cables and tired instruments, marking each passing minute with indifferent precision. I sit hunched over the console, fingertip hovering above the fader, listening to the same 8 bars loop again and again until they stop sounding like music and turn into pure heartbeat outside. The city has mostly surrendered to silence, but here the air still shivers with unfinished ideas. Chords that almost found their names, lyrics hiding between half-spoken phrases. My voice played back through these old monitors sounds lower than I remember, like it has been living underwater and only just surfaced for air. I close my eyes and hear every breath I took between notes, every tiny hesitation, every moment I nearly ran away from the truth. I was trying to sing, yet underneath the flaws there is a pulse, a consistent thread humming through the mess, some small and wavering center that keeps the whole fragile thing from falling apart. I lean closer, as if I could warm the track with my presence alone, and I feel my chest respond in kind, lungs sinking up with the slow rise and fall of the bass line. It is not spectacular, not the kind of sound that will break charts or command crowds, but it is deeply mine, shaped by the nights nobody watched. In this dim, cluttered space, I realize that survival can be as simple as pressing record one more time, as choosing to stay in a room and doubt rattles every window. The clock keeps blinking unbothered, but for me each small glowing second is a quiet victory, a reminder that the song is still breathing, and so am I, softly, stubbornly in time. The bonfire went out hours ago, leaving only a dark circle in the sand and a faint smell of smoke stitched into our clothes. Yet we linger by the shoreline as if the flames were still performing. The moon stretches a thin silver road across the water, inviting and distant while the tide comes in, with slow, deliberate breaths that erase our footprints one by one. We used to dance here in reckless loops, laughing too loud, chasing sparks as they climbed into the night and disappeared like reckless promises. Now we walk in quieter lines, shoulders brushing, trading stories that have learned how to carry both sorrow and laughter in the same sentence. Beneath the surface of casual words, I can feel something patient and warm, a loyalty that survived the storms we never documented, the arguments we decided not to repeat. We are not the people who first lit that fire, but we are still tied to the glow it once cast on our unlined faces and untested hearts. I kick at a bit of charred wood, watch a hidden red core pulse once and fade, and I recognize myself in that stubborn insistence on existing. You hand me your jacket without comment, drape it over my shoulders, like a memory we can both still enter without breaking. The night air is crisp, stars scattered like distant embers across an enormous ceiling. But I do not feel small, I feel seasoned, tempered by nights like this, by flames that rose high and collapsed, by warmth that learned how to live closer to the ground. As we turn away from the silent circle, our shadows overlap on the sand. And I know the fire is not gone, only settled somewhere deeper, where the wind cannot reach.
You left your scarf on the back of the chair, threadbare and soft, still holding the faintest trace of your cologne, like a question that no one is ready to answer. The night closes in around the windows, but it does not feel hostile, more like velvet pulled across the sky, muffling the sharpness of every distant sound. We sit across from each other, speaking in circles, letting our words cool on the table between half-empty glasses in lazy spirals of steam. There is no storm, no slam doors, only this slow fading of color, this deliberate quiet where we both keep pretending nothing is slipping away. Yet somewhere beneath the practiced calm, something small keeps glowing, the part of us that remembers late walks, shared umbrellas, awkward jokes that landed in the softest part of the evening. I watch your eyes drift to the floor, then to the window, then back to your hands, and in that loop I can see the warmth that refuses to disappear completely. Maybe we are not meant to blaze or bloom forever. Maybe we are simply learning how to carry what is left without forcing it into fireworks. Your smile appears for a second, fragile and sideways, and I feel that tiny survival of tenderness spark between us, shy but unmistakable. When you stand to leave, the lamp above us hums, casting a gentle halo over your shoulders, and the air thickens with everything we did not say. The door closes with a soft click, not an ending but a dimming, and I stay there among the ashes, running my fingers through the last comfortable heat of us, realizing that even after the fire steps back, some part of its music still lingers in